The Val Emmons Show, where freedom is cool and political correctness is for sissies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Val Emmons Show. Today we are going to talk with Lynn Carter, who I have with me right now. Lynn, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Lynn Carter in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I have Parkinson's disease, and I, like you, were in broadcasting for a number of years and was fortunate enough to have been in the original, played the Christ role in the original Great Passion Play in Eureka Springs under the directorship and scriptwriter Bob Hyde for the L.N. Smith Foundation. I left there in '85 and went into radio. And
okay, so but you also are a United States veteran.
I am, yes.
And so how long did you serve?
6 years. 6 years, two years active and 4 years reserves in the U.S. Navy.
Okay. And did you do a tour?
I did. I went to Gitmo twice, and I was all over Europe within that 2 years.
And so the reason that we're talking with Lynn today is because Lynn has experienced some things that he's kind of angry about. And after you hear the story, you won't blame him. Lynn, so why are you so angry with the VA in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Well,
Let's start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, I went there. I went to the eye clinic, actually began at the eye clinic in Fayetteville, the Veterans
And
Eye Clinic.
And when was this?
June the 15th, 2011.
Okay.
Almost 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a stroke there at the eye clinic, and the doctor at the eye clinic told my wife to drive me over to the Fayetteville Veterans Hospital and
now
to
you
the
had
emergency room.
Was this a full-blown stroke?
I guess. I don't know the difference between strokes.
Well,
I've had several. I'm paralyzed, partially paralyzed due to them. And my wife drove me to the emergency room, and when she pulled up to the emergency room, a drive-through, a male employee came out and jumped on her and told her she couldn't park there because it was an ambulance entrance and that we'd have to move the car down the hill and go through the emergency room check-in. And
did she tell them that you were having a stroke?
Yes, she pointed to me and tried to tell him, but he got more rude and told her to get down the hill. So she did. We went down the hill and parked, and I stayed in the car. Naturally, I couldn't move, and I couldn't talk, and my right side was paralyzed, partially paralyzed. And she went in to find out where to park, and they told her to go back up to the emergency room where we originally had started, and we did, and they put me in a wheelchair. Then, after we finally got back up to the hill, they put me in a wheelchair and wheeled me up to the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan or something like that on my brain, and I waited for 5 hours. I laid in feces and urine on a gurney, and they put blankets on me when I went in there, and they had to send away. They said the reason we had to wait 5 hours is because they sent the x-rays to Alabama to be read by doctors in Alabama. And now...
Are your doctors in Alabama?
No, I've never been to Alabama. The doctors I use are here in Fort Smith and up in Fayetteville.
So what are you telling me? They didn't have anybody on staff in the Fayetteville location that could handle a stroke victim?
No one, I guess. I suppose not, and I'm not. I tried to reach my 3 congressmen from District 3 here in our area in Fort Smith, Arkansas District 3, Womack, Senator Fryer and Senator Bozeman, and they asked for an inquiry. They received an inquiry from the VA hospital, which didn't even mention half of what actually went on. They did mention the fact that I laid in the urine and feces due to they didn't have enough people to handle all the people that were there in the hospital, the patients, the veterans in the hospital. And they said also that they said I was mad. I wasn't mad. My wife was the one that got mad. She asked for something to clean me up. She threw my clothes in the garbage, and they gave me a little gown, hospital gown to put on, or one of those types that you tie in the back, and my backside was exposed. I had a diaper on. They gave me a diaper, but the gown was wide open, and it was so humiliating leaving the hospital. And I still haven't heard from. I asked the 3 representatives from District 3 here up in Washington for an investigation into the matter at the hospital. It's a veterans hospital of the Ozarks. I'm sorry,
all right,
Valerie.
No, that's okay. I want to go back to. I have a couple of questions. I'm going to go back for a minute because of the eye clinic. If they told your wife that you had a stroke, why did they not call an ambulance for you?
That's what we've tried to find out also. They didn't call an ambulance. My wife had to drive me, and that took time. And I don't know if you've ever had a stroke or know if anyone has had a stroke, but mine, whenever I have them, you're there, but you're not there. And it was a humiliating situation, actually. And I get no response from the government. I've contacted the Inspector General. I've contacted the President, numbers of politicians. I contacted Tom Cotton, who is running in this district. I called his office after he announced he was running, and he doesn't return my calls. In fact, his office got very rude with me and telling me that he couldn't handle this district and need to call Womack, Mr. Womack. But hello, he's running in this district, and if he's going to represent me, let me know how he would handle the matter.
So they didn't call you an ambulance. You've had your attorney looking into this. And then they also treated you terribly. They left you laying in feces for 5 hours because you've lost function or control over your bowels, correct?
And my urine, yes, ma'am.
Because of the stroke that you had.
Exactly.
Now, have any of the doctors talked to you about what kind of, what could have been done better, I guess, on the part of VA instead of sending your tests, or what was it, X-rays or your CAT scan? Is that what you said?
CAT scans or whatever it was, I don't remember now. There's some kind of X-rays they did.
Okay. So did they say why they sent that to Alabama?
They said they didn't have a doctor in Fort Smith it's a Fayetteville VA. It's a Fayetteville Veterans Hospital qualified to read them.
So they didn't have
one in Little Rock either?
Alabama.
Ma'am?
So they wouldn't have had one in Little Rock either?
I don't guess. I don't, that's what I can't understand, why they didn't send it to Little Rock or to Washington Regional or even here in Fort Smith or gotten somebody out of the bed, or it wasn't even bedtime yet.
So basically they just let you lay there until somebody responded to them in Alabama.
That's correct.
And was there any further damage done because of that time lapse?
Well, some things that I won't discuss over the phone that are personal that happened to me, that the effects, but I'd rather not.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And so what have they done to kind of resolve your anger? And also the fact, have they addressed this, like, in terms of, is this going to be handled and by the higher-ups at the VA there in Fayetteville, or are
no,
they ignoring this?
Nothing. They just ignore it. because they wanted the tort law, I think, to run out, the limitations of the tort law to run out.
Okay.
Yes, the statute of limitations. I did get a phone call yesterday from Congressman Womack's office, and a lady from his office called to pray for me, and I brought up the fact of what recently occurred at my veterans doctor's office here in Fort Smith, and she couldn't believe it. And
tell me about that. Tell me what happened. Tell me about that first, and then what happened at your doctor's office in Fayetteville?
I think, if I remember correctly, it was the 21st of January, I think. I saw Dr. Herndon, Jimmy Herndon, here in Fort Smith at the VA clinic. Now, I have filed 5 times for my veterans disability, medical disability. He told me, he said, if you keep your mouth shut for a couple of months, about June the 15th of 2011, and what happened at the VA hospital, I can get your 100% disability on Agent Orange when we file again next month. Well, number one, I never told him I was going to file again next month, and I never told him about anything of going to the newspapers or having an attorney or anything. How he found that out, I don't know. But he told my wife, with my wife sitting there with us, told me that, and that hurt because I thought he was my friend. I valued him as my friend. He's come over. He's taken me to eat. We go to out to the Veterans Memorial, to the ceremonies they have there on Veterans days set aside for veterans.
And so he told you that he told you that he would get you your disability for Agent Orange. And do you have Agent Orange?
100%. Well,
okay.
I called.
So why haven't you not got that before?
Well, that's exactly what I'm asking. I'm also asking that question, and I'm still being ignored on that. But I want to emphasize that I feel like I have been abused by my country, and why I'm being ignored, I would love to find out. And if anybody can help me in this matter, I don't have a bunch of money, but I sure am patriotic, and I want to find a resolve. Number one, I want to put a closure to it, and I certainly want an apology, official apology,
so
a formal apology, and investigation.
They've never even given you an apology. They've never said, Mr. Carter, we are so sorry for your treatment.
No, ma'am, nothing.
Nothing. Not anything. And you've been raising a stink, and so they know about it, but they still haven't made an apology to you.
That's the way I see it also. I don't know why. I support it.
They don't want. Well, because an apology, as we talked about earlier, an apology is an admission of guilt. And if they make an apology, then that means they're guilty of the act. I'm sure it has probably something to do with their attorneys, which is ridiculous because they have attorneys to fight little suits like this.
Well,
not little anymore, it's big.
What also hurts is the fact that Congressman Womack and Senator Bozeman, I've always had their big yard signs in my yard, supported them in elections, except for the last election. I did not. I'm no longer a Republican. I feel I've been slighted by the Republican Party, slighted by the Democrat Party, and slighted by the United States government. President Obama, when I wrote him, he sent me back a big envelope filled with things to sign out to contribute to his re-election campaign, the past re-election campaign. That was a blow to the face to me, a kick in the where.
You also talked to another congressman office, which he was not in your district. And would you share with us what that congressman's staffer told you?
That must be Congressman Cotton.
Mm-hmm.
She said that he wasn't representing my district, but he had just announced that he was running in District 3. So I called to see what he could do, what he would do to help me in a situation like this.
Uh-huh.
And then she slammed the phone on me, and that was another blow to the face.
And what
because
did
if he can't, I don't recall exactly what she said, but it wasn't pleasant.
Huh.
And I never received any more information or calls from Congressman Cotton never returned a call or an email or anything. And that's
and he's
another.
A veteran.
I know he's a veteran. He's running as a veteran, but he's not representing a veteran. I'm a veteran. He's not representing me. And to tell me that he cannot do so because I am out of his district. Hello, he's running in my district.
Well,
and I only asked to know what he would do for someone in this district that had a problem such as mine.
Sure.
And why he did that, I have no idea. I don't trust him any longer.
And so you've called Pryor's office as well, Senator Mike Pryor.
I'll call Pryor's office. If you go to my telephone records for the past 2.5 years, you would be amazed at the phone calls I've made to the government with no replies. And to the congressman, not just Womack, and not Congressman Womack, and not just Senator Pryor, Senator Bozeman, all of them, the whole nation. And it's just like I don't exist.
And so your doctor has not yet given you your disability. Is that correct?
No, I still have not received. I just got denied again a few months ago.
Why are they telling you you're denied?
They say that I don't meet the specifics or something, and that I never handled any of the chemicals that might have. Valerie, I worked on every part of the ship that I sat on atomic bombs, on warheads, active warheads. I used to have pictures. I've lost them through the years since 1970. But I had pictures sitting on bombs, sitting on napalm, working parties to other ships which handled Agent Orange. But I am denied because it's not documented, they tell me. I have no government documentation. Well, hell, nobody if you go get a drink of water, who's going to document that you went to get a drink of water? I volunteered for everything there was in the service, every working party there ever was in the military. And there's no documentation. They can't tell me what I did 41 years ago, or how many, 42 or 41, 42 years ago. Back then, they didn't document a damn thing.
And so do you have the symptoms?
Yes, I do. Well, Dr. Herndon, I called the mental health because that's who they had me see after June the 15th of 2011. They sent me to mental health and put me on medications. And I called their office the other day, and the little girl, the lady I talked to, one of the mental health people there, told me that Dr. Herndon did, in fact, put that I had symptoms of Agent Orange. She looked into my files and his file or whatever and said that I did, in fact. He has documented that I do, in fact, have symptoms of Agent Orange. Yet they tell me whenever I file, I have sleep apnea, I have Parkinson's, I have neuropathy all over my body, and a number of other issues, health issues, but none of them, they say, are related to my status of my military records, or not documented into my military records.
Wow. Well, all right, so what would you like to see happen?
Valerie, can I just mention one? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Governor Beebe's office, I called his office about 20 times. It seems like 20 times, trying to get some help. And his office was finally nice enough to give me a number to the VA representative, patient advocate, the lady that runs the patient advocacy up there. And I'm trying to remember her name.
Well, we don't even know her. But...
Okay, I won't mention her name. I shouldn't mention her name. Anyway, she told me that she was going to call me back after she finally called me. After I called her, and I finally told them up there, I kept getting recordings at the VA hospital, and finally she called me because I told them that I was returning from request of Governor Beebe's office, and she finally called me and we spoke. And I asked her, I said, ma'am, why can't we go to the surveillance video cameras or camera system that you have, and it'll clearly show the gentleman at least jumping on my wife like you did. And she said, I don't even know that we have a video system, surveillance system. They got those guards running around with tasers all over them like old men are going to come and attack them or something.
Well, that's probably not something she would know, though, Lynn. She deals with the patients, not the security part of it. But yeah, I mean, I think that I want to know what would make it okay for you. What would give you closure?
I mean, at this point, I don't know. I'm about giving up on the deal. I don't. It's driven me crazy for 2.5 years. I have nightmares of it. I told that's on record at the VA hospital. I don't know who to turn to anymore. You can't turn to the government, and when you can't turn to the Inspector General and receive help, there's literally I don't think, anywhere else to turn, and the politicians don't seem to care because they don't want to dirty their hands and make them look like a fool in the district, I guess. I don't understand.
So where will you go next time now if you have a problem? Are you going to go to the VA? Or
I have a personal doctor here in Fort Smith that is handling my medicals now. And
so you're seeing a private doctor now?
I'm seeing a private doctor now that's costing me out the gazoo.
Yeah.
I was promised when I joined the Navy, they told me that we would be taken care of for the rest of our lives. They would never ever need medical assistance to please turn to them. That was the biggest lie ever. I've praised John F. Kennedy, and I'll tell you why I praise President Kennedy. Valerie, he was the greatest man to me that ever walked the face of the earth. And as a human being, he was for all people. He stated in the Civil Rights Act, I can't remember the exact quote, that yes, I do remember. He said, this nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was not founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and the rights of every man, I think he put it, are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. I feel threatened. I feel threatened by my government. Why have they turned their back on me is the question that I ask. Why can't I get an investigation for after almost 3 years now? June the 15th will be 3 years since the abuse of 2011.
We don't know the other abuses that have taken place. I mean, that's
Valerie, that's exactly why I'm doing this. I don't care.
Right.
You can read my statements that I have posted. I have not asked for one penny, not one penny. I'm doing it that it never happens to other veterans or future veterans, their families, and their caregivers and wives. Strictly for that reason. I haven't asked anything from this. Nothing. Not a penny. Not a penny.
Well, then,
now, by God, if they want to give it to me, I'll take it for what I've been through. Because I have no more respect. I feel like I've been dumped on. shafted, whatever you want to call it.
But you told me that you reached out to the Libertarian Party, and that went pretty well. Can we tell us a little bit about that for a minute?
I did. I went to I did. I went to a Libertarian Party last week, and I met with Nathan LaFleur, Nathan LaFrance, one of the nicest gentlemen ever. He was indeed very outgoing and friendly. The young man is just impressive to me. He's a good politician, I think. He's good material. I'll support him. And Frank Gilbert was there. I think he's running for governor, as I understand it. And he was very nice and very polite. The whole party, it was open door meeting. Anyone that wanted to attend the meeting. And it was a wonderful meeting. I was impressed. I was totally impressed by the Libertarian Party, and I've been doing some reading and some studying. And I am going to continue to study until Election Day on some people in the Libertarian Party. I like Rand Paul. I think Senator Paul is a wonderful person. I don't think he'll back down. He hasn't answered me yet, but I think he must be so busy, I guess. But these people here from District 3, they're representing me. I'm a constituent.
Right.
I am a constituent of theirs, and they refuse to talk to me. I have yet to talk face-to-face with either three, Congressman Womack, Senator Mark Pryor, and Senator John Bozeman will not look me in the eye and talk to me. I've asked and asked and asked. And their offices say, well, they're in Washington. They can't be. They're busy or whatever excuse they give. Well, I didn't vote for them for that. I'm glad they're doing a job up there, whatever they're doing. I don't. The way the nation is going downhill like a snowball. I don't think they're. I think the jobs could be done a little better.
I think it's pretty sad, Lynn, that they're making all these 20,000 bills that we need a year instead of taking care of our veterans.
That's exactly right. And sending money to foreign countries. I serve this country. How many of those foreigners are sending that money to you that are receiving money? Hey, hello, help a veteran out. We are brothers, veterans united. I don't know if they've ever read the creed, but hello, Womack. I'll rephrase that. Congressman Womack is a veteran. I don't think he ever saw any wartime or any official time overseas that I've ever read. But by God, he's a veteran like me, so why don't he help me?
Well,
we're brothers, and veterans are brothers.
I'm wondering the same thing there, Lynn, and maybe we can get their attention and maybe they'll see that, what they're doing is not helping the veterans out. And I think that veterans are one of the most important part of our country. For without you and the rest of the veterans, we wouldn't have the opportunity and the privilege of freedom.
Thank you.
So I want to
thank you.
I want to thank you for your service, and I want to help you get the word out about this. So if you know of anybody else that's gone through this, I would like for you to have them contact me at valemmons@gmail.com. It's VALEMMONS@gmail.com. They can look me up on Facebook or Twitter. You have a Facebook page, too. And you've started a new Facebook page, haven't you, Lynn?
I have posted it. Each time I post to Twitter, it posts into Facebook. And I keep asking these congressmen. I'm surprised at now because usually when I would talk to Womack, Bozeman, and Pryor, Facebook would dump me. And I'd have to wait 4 or 5 months to get back in.
Well, you started a new Facebook group, though, didn't you?
I did.
And what is it called?
I don't remember the name.
It's Veterans Helping Veterans.
Veterans Helping Veterans. I honestly don't recall.
That's okay. It's out there.
It just started and I haven't been. I started about a week ago.
I know that because you added me.
Have you been there?
So, yes,
Thank
I've been there. And so
Very kind.
if you're a veteran and you want to help, or if you have a story to tell, I think you should go to Lynn's page. He's the admin for it, and like his page and start the conversation, because we need to find out. And I don't care how small you think your issue is. These small issues turn into large issues. And I think people need to start recognizing that veterans are so important to our country. And some people fail to recognize that, and they're preoccupied with other things that are less important.
Well,
so,
thank you for
thank
that.
you. You're
and
welcome.
I wanted to point out also that when a veteran thinks that they're being slighted, don't sit around and don't wait. And most of all, let yourself be heard. Make yourself heard. I have to one-finger peck when I'm on my keyboard, and I sit in a wheelchair, or else I'm in a hospital bed doing it here at my house. And no matter how long it takes you to do it, you do it. Don't trust others to do it for you, because it won't get done.
Well, thank you, Lynn, for your time. Thank you for talking to me about this, and thank you for reaching out to me, because I want to help you, because I just was horrified when I heard the story, and I don't want it to happen to anyone else either. So that's our mission right now. So, Lynn, you take care. And,
you also, ma'am.
And if you need anything, you're welcome, and you let me know, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you also, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.